Hello there and welcome. Well, today I'm going to do something special. Last week was poetry and today is prose, and I'm going to be reading to you from an article, a magazine article that I adored, and I adored it so much I used it to help teach my students. It's from the old GOURMET magazine, and it's by a woman named Helen Gustafson. My passion for sugar cookies goes back to when I was 9 years old. That was the summer my father took my brother and me from our urban home in St. Paul, Minnesota, to Aunt Vertie's big farm in Nebraska. She and her 4 brothers and any visiting relatives gathered on warm Sunday afternoons on the long sloping front porch for sugar cookies, lemonade, and ice cream. Sugar cookies are natural companions to lemonade. The lemonade should be made with lots of visible lemon slices and served from a large glass pitcher with slightly sweaty sides. My aunt's sugar cookies, for which she was famous, were 4 inches across, puffy, soft, and sprinkled with a bit of sugar. They had a subtle flavor, which I later found out was a touch of wintergreen. I quickly learned that the setting in which sugar cookies are served is of paramount importance. Ideally, they should be consumed in an atmosphere marked by serenity, a sense of well-being and ease, just the way it was on that breezy front porch with Aunt Vertie and those genial uncles of mine. However, if you don't have a front porch, gather up a tablecloth, and crisp linen napkins to proceed and to indulge. People in the Midwest, ladies in particular, understand all this and take recipes for sugar cookies seriously. I'm glad they do. They know that a sugar cookie honestly named must remain inviolate. No nuts or extravagant ingredients, wintergreen excepted of course. A true sugar cookie is composed of sugar, eggs, a leavening agent, though not in the earliest varieties, flour and butter, and it can have some delicate flavoring other than sugar, lemon, almond, and of course vanilla. The shape should be unremarkably round, with perhaps a scalloped edge. It is a plain, honest cookie after all. I grew up in Minnesota, raised a family in California, and spent my entire adult life searching for a way to return to the Midwest. Then, a few years ago, the opportunity finally presented itself. I had to move heaven and earth and spend the baby's milk money, but managed with my husband to buy his family's farm in the lush glacial lake region of South Dakota that borders Minnesota. The farm had been in his family for 118 years. It has lots of sweeping, rough-cut plains, grass lawns, and at least 5 places where I can revive that childhood sense of safety, my sugar cookie therapy. In fact, the first summer I was there, I realized one of my sugar cookie dreams. It was a sunny afternoon, and I dragged my Aunt Bertha, my cousin Mary Helen, and my neighbor Wilma out onto a side lawn with a card table, despite their protests that it was too windy and too buggy, and they weren't hungry or thirsty. I have a photograph of this day. Aunt Bertha is grim and slit-mouthed. Mary Helen is smiling gamely, but her hair is, quote, everywhere, unquote, as she describes it. Wilma looks content. As for me, I'm serene, like a saint having an epiphanic moment, my short hair blown back off my face by the divine, fragrant breeze as I pour lemonade, not just lemonade, but proper lemonade, the recipe copied from a faded card I found in a prairie museum years ago. It's proper because the recipe came from a Boston dowager, and I fancy that the elegant, tiny scripted card was brought from Boston to the Midwest to be saved, revered, and never deviated from.